everybody, it's KelseeBrianaJai here with the Gwen Stefani for Urban Decay palette that just released the other day. I nabbed this from UrbanDecay.com and I was so excited to get it because I have been a Gwen Stefani fan for such a long time. My first time hearing of her was when I was a little girl. I used to watch Clueless over and over and over and over and over. Like, you know how little kids watch movies over and over again, but that was me. I watched movies over and over. And so I listened to that song, I'm Just a Girl. And so I just always felt like this weird connection with Gwen Stefani. I don't know. I was buying Harajuku stuff. Like, me and Gwen have this weird thing. I've always loved Gwen Stefani. So when I heard she was collaborating with Urban Decay, I was like, I gotta get this palette. So this is the palette, actual palette, but I want to show you guys the packaging. I did not do an unboxing because truthfully, I get so anxious that it's just like, oh, I just need to open it. I just need to open it. But anyways, here's the packaging. So it's this really pretty white and gold packaging. And then the inside is like white and like this fuchsia colored polka dot. Then on the back it has the names of the eyeshadows with pretty accurate pictures of what the eyeshadows actually look like. So then we get to the palette, which it has like this really weird, like different design of a lot of different holes. It almost looks like a beehive to me. And then it's gold, trimmed in gold. And I love anything trimmed in gold. And I do not have a palette that's trimmed in gold. So this palette is gorgeous to me. The back is just gold. It says Urban Decay, Gwen Stefani, Beauty with an Edge. Kind of like their normal little jush that they always say. So then you open up the palette and then on the mirror it says Magic in the makeup. I thought that the magics in the makeup would be like more so all the way across the mirror, like in a fancy, like, I don't know, cursive script, but it wasn't. It was just in this plain, it's like this plain, like just straight font. I don't know. But then we open up the palette and then we see all of the eyeshadows. This eyeshadow palette contains 15 different eyeshadows and it is a primarily neutral palette. So I can tell you right now, if you are sick of neutral palettes, if you have a lot of neutral palettes and you're like, oh, another neutral palette, you may as well just click off of this video right now, girl, because you're probably going to be bored to tears with this one. But for those of you all who live for a good neutral palette, that's what you use on a day-to-day basis. You love neutral palettes, like you understand the importance of having a good neutral palette, you may want to go ahead and keep watching because I feel like I've watched some reviews and read some reviews about this palette and I feel like people are just overly harsh about it, and I think they're feeling the way like, why is this palette so neutral, because of who is collaborated with. So if this did not have Gwen Stefani's name attached to it, I think people would be a little bit more receptive to the fact that it's just like basically totally neutral with one pop of color. If we cover up this blue eyeshadow here, so if we cover up this blue, then you'll see how neutral the eyeshadow palette definitely is. The blue is just a pop to make it look a little bit more fun than it actually is. I incorporated, let me see, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 7 colors. So about half of the palette pretty much I used on my eyelid. I'm not gonna lie, I despise this color right here. This one is stark and typically I am really drawn towards colors like this, but I just was not feeling this color for whatever reason. It was kind of patchy, but the other eyeshadows that I did use in the palette, they were pretty good with how Urban Decay's eyeshadows feel to me. They don't feel like how, because I feel like this is my opinion, when I used the Naked Smoky palette, I felt like those eyeshadows were different quality than how Urban Decay's eyeshadows typically feel. And I've had several different Urban Decay eyeshadow palettes, a lot of different Urban Decay single eyeshadows. Also, I have the electric palette, and then it's just like I just felt like those eyeshadows just did not feel consistent with how Urban Decay eyeshadows were. They were good eyeshadows, but I just felt like they just didn't have the Urban Decay feel. I feel like these eyeshadows have the I'm a little stopped up. I feel like these eyeshadows have the Urban Decay feel. They feel like classic Urban Decay eyeshadows. So if you like Urban Decay eyeshadows, I feel like you'll be safe getting this palette. Otherwise, if you're like, I don't like Urban Decay's eyeshadow formula, they feel like an Urban Decay eyeshadow. Urban Decay's, well, I feel like I've said Urban Decay like 30 times at this point. I got this from Urban Decay's website, urbandecay.com. And the good thing about this was that the pro discount did apply, so you are eligible to get 40% off this palette, which is awesome because like in the past, Urban Decay has not allowed you to get 40% off of a popular palette or a new release or anything like that initially. You have to kind of wait and play a waiting game and see if they're going to, but the fact that they went ahead and allowed us to do it, I feel like that was really awesome. A lot of these are very light shades, so I feel like on the lid some of these can look similar, but on my skin tone I feel like you'll be able to differentiate between this eyeshadow and this eyeshadow. But if you're paler, I feel like these would kind of look the same because they will blend in with your skin tone. That's how I feel about it. A lot of people feel the opposite way. Because you're darker, they're gonna all look the same, but I feel like because I'm darker, they would have more of a difference against the contrast of my skin tone. So the names of these all have sentimental value to Gwen Stefani. Like one of them is called Blonde, Bathwater, Skimp, Steady, Punk, Baby, Anaheim, Stark, Zone, Serious, Pop, Harajuku, Danger, 1987, and Blackout. I don't know the meaning of all the names, but I know the meaning of a good amount of them. If you're interested in that, just go ahead and just look that up. I feel like that's kind of irrelevant to the video, but I just feel like it's a good eyeshadow palette to travel with. I was talking to Mel about this, Puffin's wife, and she was just like, I don't want to get it because she just kind of felt like she had a lot like it and it just didn't pique her interest. And so I was like, I felt like it would be a good eyeshadow palette to travel with. And so she was joking with me. She was like, you can travel with all your eyeshadow palettes. But I'm like, but I feel like this one would be good because it has a good mix of eyeshadows. It doesn't have too many mattes, but I feel like you don't need that many mattes as long as you have like the mid-tone mattes. And then this one is a burgundy-ish color, but it can kind of go for a dark brown. I feel like you'll be good. And then a good mix of sparkles. So I'm the person, I like that. This is how I like my palette. I would prefer more, like maybe a little bit more of a contrast with the lighter shades. Not gonna lie, I would probably take out this whole row of lighter shades, and then I feel like we'll be good on light shades. So I feel like if she concentrated the light shades here and then had the dark and then had like more fun colors right here, I feel like people will be more receptive to this palette. But because this whole side is just like light colors, I think people are like, girl, you just made a palette full of eyeshadows that are the same. But once I swatch them, you'll kind of see the difference. The only eyeshadow in this palette that I just really was not digging was Stark. I had it on my lid initially. I had to go over it minimum 5 times and it just wasn't working for me. I definitely will keep that footage in this video so that you can kind of see the struggle I was going through with that eyeshadow. Like that eyeshadow was so hard to manipulate and get on the lid like an even application that I just basically just said and just put on a different eyeshadow because I was just like so over it. But I mean, I feel like it will be a great gift. I mean, look how pretty it is. Like even if you just want to get it to store it alone, I feel like it's a great collector's piece. And if you're like me and you're like, okay, you have a lot of neutral eyeshadows, you may just want to get it just because you're a fan and you just want to collect it. Good collector's piece. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch these eyeshadows and I'm going to do my best. Work with me. It is pitch black dark outside. I mean, it's so annoying because it's like it gets dark in the wintertime so easily. So just kind of gotta work with the doll. I feel like these eyeshadows are all pretty buttery except the one. But this is the whole front row and I swatched them from this way to this way, and then so starting here and going over, and I hope that you can see them. That is Blonde, Bathwater, Skimp, Steady, and Pump. Anaheim is very finely milled, but I think this one is going to be one of those shades that works better with a brush. And I don't know what Stark's problem was. Maybe it's because I used that 242 brush. Maybe I'll try it again with the 239 and see if it performs a little bit better, but it just was slipping and sliding on, like it was too finely milled, too powdery. And I almost kind of feel like that about Anaheim too. Again, from this direction to this direction, we have, let me see, I covered it up. Baby, and I promise I hope you can see these pictures. If not, Baby, Anaheim, Stark, Zone. You can't even see Zone really. That kind of blends into my skin tone. And then Serious, which is a color. Not that anything is wrong with the formulation of this color. I just don't like the color. But here are these. That second row. So then lastly is this more so of the glittery row. A few of the other ones have iridescence in it. But these have more of a... it's still not a chunky, it's still not a chunky glitter, but it's just more of an apparent glitter than the rest of the eyeshadows. Okay, so far Pop, Baby, and Steady look almost the same. Pop is a little bit more white, but Pop, Baby, and Steady look almost the same on my lid. So again, this one is Pop, Harajuku, Danger, 1987, and Blackout. Blackout is like such an intensely black eyeshadow. Like, I love Blackout. I have it in the single form. Yeah, that was pretty much my overall just mini review, first impressions. I just wanted to open up the eyeshadow palette and just dig right into it and just really see my own true genuine thoughts without looking up, seeing what this shade is supposed to do and what you can use that one for. I just basically wanted this to be authentically Kelsee thoughts, and that's what I did business. So I used only these eyeshadows today on my eyelid to create this look. You will see this look following this little chit chat, little introduction about this palette. So I hope that that was informative for anybody who was kind of interested in the palette and didn't really know what, I don't know. Sometimes it's like you're interested, but you're like, what do I want to really do? So I'll have to get this video up ASAP so it doesn't sell out. So that's like main priority for me. Right now, let's just dig right into this tutorial, and I hope that you guys enjoy. First, I'm going to go over my whole entire eye area with Skimp eyeshadow, which is like a iridescent pearl shade. This is the Marc Jacobs, the conceal brush. Next, with the Wayne Goss number 4 brush, I'm going to take Zone eyeshadow, and I'm going to fluff this in my crease, and ooh, it's blending out really pretty. So next, I'm going to take Stark, which is that matte. I think this is a matte anyways. It looks pretty matte to me. It's like a matte-ish, neutrally pink color. And this is a MAC 242 brush. And then going back with that blending brush and then making sure the two colors are blended well enough. So then I'm going to go in with Pop, which is a really, really sparkly shade, and let's see how this does. And then I'm going back with Stark and reapplying it because I think I lost some. Take the color Punk, which I have been like dying to get into with the Wayne Goss 04 brush, and I want to apply that like more so right in my crease. And I'm really taking my time and placing this color directly in the crease, and then you can always go back and kind of blend out the edges, but I don't want to cover up that brown, and I want the Punk color to be like a pop of burgundy. So burgundy almost can be treated as a neutral sometimes. Packing this on, trying to layer it more and more. Then I'm going to take a clean 221 brush by MAC and just buff this out. Then I feel like I need to go back with Stark again because it's gone again. So now I'm going in with Blackout with my 242. And this one is a really intensely black eyeshadow. And this one's really good. I can already tell. And then I don't know, maybe because all the other eyeshadows I like so far except for Stark. So maybe I'll go on top of Stark with Steady and see how that one goes. I'm just going to place it right on top because Stark is just not working. I'm taking my eyeshadow brush and putting it in the eyeshadow. It feels more buttery. And Stark feels definitely like a powder. Like it's very chalky. My face pretty much is finished besides a little tweaks in my eyes. So very quickly, I just want to tell you what all I did and kind of what I already had on before. So I had on MAC Studio Tech Foundation in the color NC43. I set it with MAC's Studio Fix Powder in C5.5. And then as far as the rest of my face, I did my brows using Spiked. Set it with Quiet Brunette. I already had my eyes prepped. And I used MAC's Painterly Paint Pot. And then as far as like this cheek goes, this is Casino Blush. And then I have on, you might not be familiar with this. This is MAC's Azalea Blush. It's a pro blush, but it's on very, very light. And then this is, what do they call this highlighter? What is this highlighter? Oh Darling, the limited one. So use whatever highlighter you have because that one's like gone at this point. And then I lined my lips with Magenta Lip Liner by MAC. And then I have on Flat Out Fabulous lipstick. And I also have on Ardell 203 double stack lashes. Just because I already had them out because I wore them not too long ago. So I just want to finish up this look by adding a pop of color on my bottom. I'm taking a MAC Chromographic pencil, and this one is in the color Marine Ultra. I really want to play up that pop of blue that Gwen incorporated into this eyeshadow palette. So she like basically this whole palette is neutral because like take away this blue and the whole palette is neutral. So this is the one pop of color, so I definitely had to add this on the first time of me using it. This one is called Danger, and then this is a Goss number 5 brush. So it's a pencil brush, so basically what I'm going to do here is apply it along the lower lash line. So it's going to be like a pop of blue with neutral eyeshadow. Guys, so this is the finalized look and mini review and first impression of me using this palette. I like the palette. I mean, if you're interested in it and you love a good neutral palette, like I said earlier, take that blue out, you love a good neutral palette, then hey, this may be the palette for you. I like the design. It's a good feeling palette. So it may be a good Christmas gift, especially for a No Doubt or Gwen. Let me know down in the bottom bar what you guys think about the palette, if you already have it or if you're interested in it, or kind of what you think based on what I'm telling you and then like how you're seeing it. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe also and leave a comment below. I love having conversation. My favorite part of YouTube is getting comments. Like, that's my favorite part. Like, it's like, okay, a subscriber, like, yes, I want you to come back and be engaged, but it's just the conversations in the comments. Those are my favorite parts. But anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Smooches. Mwah, mwah. Bye. Alright, so this one is called Ex-Girlfriend, and it is a sheer lip color. And I think it's really pretty, but it's one of those my lips but better colors. So it's like something that you would just keep in your purse, not something that's just like magnificent. So if you're looking for extraordinary here, this is just something that's just like super neutral, throw on kind of lipstick. Like you're just on the go, you already have this in your purse, it goes with whatever look you have on, and it feels pretty good. So it almost gives me the feels of like a Luster by MAC, or either like a really fancy chapstick. So this one is called Firebird, and it is a cream. They come in like these little peel thing. I like this one. Now, do I wear colors like this typically? Not really. The only reason being is that I feel like it does nothing for my complexion. I feel like it just kind of dulls me down. But I feel like people who are darker complected can rock this shade of like this like boysenberry color, and it would just be beautiful. But on me it just feels like womp womp, but I like the color. This one is 714, which I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this is her area code. And this one is a mega matte finish, and I can already tell because my lip brush doesn't easily just dig into this lipstick. Okay, so this one gives me the feels of like a very neutral red. So like if MAC's Russian Red and Ruby Woo had a baby and just made a classic red with not too much blue undertone, not too much orange undertone, it would be this color. However, I feel like applying this with the lip brush is taking me a little bit more work than what I actually want to put forth. I like the way these mattes feel, so they're not like really drying. Has still a little bit of slip to it, but it's not shiny, which takes away from the aspect of it being matte in my opinion. So it's definitely. And lastly, this one is Rock Steady. Rock Steady is a cream, so she has 4 different finishes: a cream, mega matte, a sheer, and then oh no, 3, my bad, 2 creams. 2 creams, my bad. I feel like this lipstick is consistent with most lipsticks that try to do this color. This color is so hard to nail. I don't know what these people upstairs are doing, but they're really killing me softly at 10. What time is it? 9:11. I'm gonna need for them to chill all the way down. I'm gonna need for them to turn all the way down. But this lipstick, it's okay. It's a little bit patchy, if you will, so it doesn't apply as evenly as I want it to. It probably is going to wear a little bit. It probably is gonna wear okay. As you can see through my lips a little bit, through some of it, so it's not an even color all the way around. These lipsticks are cool. I feel like the success of these lipsticks would have, I can't predict the future, but just me thinking about from like a marketing aspect, I feel like these lipsticks would have done better if they had been released alongside with the palette versus having the palette and then just having lipsticks, especially since Urban Decay is not really known for their lipsticks. Like nobody really camps out for Urban Decay lipsticks, you know what I mean? And I feel like people go crazy for their eyeshadow palette. So Urban Decay definitely is an eyeshadow brand. They do other stuff very, very well, but their main focus and what they're known for and what they're synonymous with is eyeshadow. So for them to have a separate launch with a lipstick, just kind of, I just wish they had done it together, because I feel like they just would be more successful that way. But hey, let's see. They come out in the spring, I want to say. Yes. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know what you guys think in the bottom bar in the comments. Read the bottom bar for more information. Boom. Bye.